Hello, welcome to the show. On today's episode, I'm speaking with Nadine Bubeck, a former TV news anchor turned mompreneur and the publisher of Paradise Valley City Lifestyle, which is a luxury magazine that reaches the most sought-after communities in Arizona. With a passion for storytelling and media, Nadine has grown her platform into one of Arizona's most beloved publications. She's also a recognized lifestyle, travel, and parenting contributor featured on major networks like Good Morning America and Fox News. So today, Nadine's going to talk about how she used her work experience, her gifts, and her passions to acquire and grow a niche magazine into a thriving brand. So stay tuned. You do not want to miss this episode. Welcome to Monetize Your Passion, a place for moms with big dreams and an eagerness to turn them into a thriving reality. Whether you're a mother looking to monetize your talents, transition from a stagnant job, or explore a fun side hustle, you're in the right place. I'm Caroline, wife, mother, and the visionary behind Tinseltown Mom, a platform dedicated to helping moms to embrace and pursue their God-given dreams. After interviewing nearly 100 celebrities for my platform, one common theme stands out in their success stories: passion. As a former actress, current writer, celebrity blogger, and certified life coach, passion has always been at the core of my journey. And through it all, I've discovered the power of honing our gifts, learning from our past, and using our experiences to uplift others. Join me on the show as I explore stories of celebrity moms and successful mompreneurs, uncovering the roadmap to their accomplishments. I'll also be sharing business and marketing tips to guide you towards tangible ideas for making money. Here, my hope is that you'll find inspiration from God, encouragement, and practical insights to monetize your passion. Hey, working moms, are you feeling burnt out from your 9-to-5 and you're looking for ways to pursue and monetize a passion? Or maybe you want to follow your gifts and dreams but aren't sure how to fit them into your already busy life. Or perhaps you feel stuck on the hamster wheel of life and you need guidance. I get it. I've been there. For 12 years, I managed life as a working mom holding a full-time corporate job while also pursuing my passions on the side. And during my toughest days at work, my side passions gave me something to look forward to, especially knowing that I was helping other moms in the process. I'd love for you to join me on October 26th from 10 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for a 90-minute hands-on workshop on pursuing and monetizing a side passion. You'll learn to identify expertise from your current job or rediscover neglected passions that can help others. We'll also cover how to find your target audience, key monetization and marketing strategies, plus more. For just a $97 investment, you'll be on your way to greater fulfillment and a greater sense of purpose. If this resonates with you, and I know it will, take a few minutes right now and sign up. The link is in the show notes. All right, now let's get into this episode. Hi, Nadine. Welcome to the show.
Caroline, thank you so much for having me. We followed each other on social for many, many years, and I just love moms doing cool stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if you recall, but you were my very first interview when I started my blog 10 years ago.
Wait, no. What did we even talk about? Who knows? But
I think it was when you first left broadcasting and you were doing your own mompreneur type of stuff.
Yes. It's something to be celebrated.
Exactly. So so why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself?
Okay, the brief, the condensed version.
The condensed version.
I spent 10 years on air as a news anchor, both in San Diego and Phoenix. Transitioned out of TV news when I had my first son, which I now have 3. Momming comes first, like it does to all of us, women wearing many hats, and my boys are my world. And we live in Scottsdale, Arizona. But I've always believed in maintaining a sense of self. And to me, that sense of self is creativity and storytelling. So while I transitioned out of TV news, I've still stayed very immersed in the media sphere, doing a bunch from writing, nationally, local, print, marketing, PR, social. And now I am the proud owner of Paradise Valley City Lifestyle magazine, which I know we'll dive into, but it is a monthly luxury lifestyle print publication and platform. So this is a magazine that has been around for quite some time. And I took over the publication this past December. You know, the other owner did some wonderful things with the magazine, but like everything, she lived her time through the publication and she was ready to hand it off. And I took it over. It was a baby. It was 36 pages. And if you've ever held a 36-page magazine, it's really, really little. But in the past 7-8 months, we have grown it to be 100 pages. I credit that to strong covers, great storytelling, meaningful partnerships, but also creating a multimedia platform that backs that print publication. So it's been really exciting, Tirlan, because like a lot of other moms in media, the blog sphere and all that stuff, you know, we always see a lot of transition in our career. And sometimes we feel like we're in limbo and we're doing 50 different things for 50 different outlets. And we're trying to do this and dabble into this. And now I have something to really hone in on and pour my heart and soul into. And it's been very wonderful.
I feel like all the experience that you've had with broadcasting, with publicity, all that can go into this magazine. Like all of your gifts are being used right now. Do you feel that?
It's nice that now I can exercise what I've done in the past and put everything, like you said, kind of under one umbrella, where we're creating this very strong monthly print magazine, but we also have like social where we're doing videos and events, and I bring it on TV every month. So we've created a really strong platform that is very special and sacred to the community that we cover here in Arizona. It's been nice to take my background, because I always say to people, like, you can't take TV out of the girl. Like, I still bring the magazine on TV every month. When you're wired to be someone who's in the media, it's just a part of who you are. And so it's been a great opportunity to take what I've done and to take the lessons I've learned, which have been multiple, and have applying them to one focused entity. So that's been really nice for me.
So let's go back a little bit. So what prompted you to actually acquire a magazine? Because I'm assuming that's a big feat.
That is a big feat. And that's a great question. So over the past 10 years, you know, as my boys were babies and young, you know, I wanted to be very flexible and home for them. So I had a work at home job, and I still stayed very immersed in the media sphere and still did a bunch of stuff there. But I kind of felt like I was being pulled in so many different directions without a specific focus. And I was writing so much content and doing so much stuff, and it was going towards a million different things rather than one. I feel like now that my kids are in elementary school, what's next for me? Because some people like get their high off Pilates, like my high's off work and creativity. And so I was kind of at this point where I'm like, I need something to fall from the sky where I can apply my heart and my soul and what I enjoy doing into. So I had always been very involved in the city lifestyle publication group. In fact, I've written for many of the publications nationwide, because there are multiple. So I knew the owner of Paradise Valley City Lifestyle, and she was, you know, at one time it was her baby, and she had grown it very nicely, and she was ready to pass it on. And this was actually in April of last year. And it just didn't align at that time for me. I wasn't ready to dive in. I think she was still up in the air with the direction she wanted to take as far as of cutting ties with the publication. And then this past, gosh, it must have been a year ago, October, November, I reached out and I'm like, you know, are you still, I think she sent me an email and I wrote her back. I'm like, are you still ready to thinking of selling it? And she said, yeah. And it just, the timing was right, Tirlan. And I think that's always really important. I always believe things unfold exactly as they should. At least speaking for myself, I've lived a very, you know, bumpy road, curvy path, doing a bunch of different things. And I feel like now this road has stopped and kind of given me a direction. So we went through an acquisition process, which, you know, it takes a lot of time and it's scary and it's stressful, but everybody involved made it as easy as possible. And then all of a sudden, I had to take over a magazine. And that was kind of a shocker to me because remember, in the past, my background's in television. So we're always reporting for the moment and day of. In magazine and print, I'm living in the future. Like I'm already planning our issues later into 2024, into 2025, thinking ahead. It was kind of like a learning curve that I had to embrace very fast. And I did. And we've grown rapidly and gradually every single month. And it's taken me a little bit of time, but who do I credit the success to is the community that has embraced not only the platform and publication, but their belief and their trust in me. You have to get partnerships. I hate the word advertiser. I hate it. People think of advertiser and it's so negative. And I agree. When people and companies and businesses join our publication, they are becoming our partner. They're becoming our friend. And in the beginning, Tirlan, I turned to my friends and I said, hey, I know you're running this dynamic business, or would you want in? And 9 times out of 10, they just said, where do I sign? Because they trusted me. And I take that trust so deeply and special. So I was very lucky that initially it's the community here in Arizona that really has helped me build this so fast into making it a very strong platform that it is now.
So as far as the partnership, I love the partnership because you're right. Advertising, it does have a negative connotation.
And you think of an advertiser, it's like a newspaper or just like an ad that's not pretty. Like I take such time, care, TLC, love into helping our partners form meaningful ad placements so they're getting that ROI, but also so it meets the aesthetics of our publication. And it brings me so much joy when they call me and they're like, oh my gosh, I just got a client. I just got business from this. I love this, or your events. And I feel like it's working what we're doing together. And it's only because I care. I mean, that's all. I just care. I care about the product.
So is that the primary way, would you say, to monetize a magazine is through partnerships?
Yes. I mean, look, we grow in size in a magazine. Like this Nicole and Michael Phelps on the cover. Our most recent cover is Mike Tyson. And then our style issue, which is awesome. This is the founder of Alice and Olivia. She's a dynamic mom out of New York City, dominating the fashion sphere. And in order to grow in page count, we need to have these partnerships that keep it alive. So when I've grown from 36 pages to 100, I credit that to my partnerships because we're never going to have a publication that's just full of advertisements. So every time we reach a certain amount of page count, a certain amount of partnerships, our page count goes up. So we're always having that very solid, strong ratio between advertisements and content. So that's why our page count is progressing because we're bringing more and more meaningful partnerships on board.
That's so awesome. And you grew this magazine in 1 year. From 36 pages to how many pages?
We're at 100 pages.
100.
Less than a year.
That is amazing.
December is my year anniversary. Our December cover last year was Alice and Cheryl Cooper. They live in Paradise Valley. I mean, I want to keep growing it. And it's not just page count, but it's more substance, right? So when you're thinking of it's the reader's experience. And I get so many people who text me or call me and say, like, I just read it cover to cover. That's what I want to be happening. I want those engaging stories, both through the content, but also through the advertisements. I always challenge our partners to be very creative in their delivery of their print placements. But we're more than a magazine. We are a multimedia platform. And that's something that means a lot to me because truthfully, as you know, that's my background, multimedia.
Yeah, right. Absolutely. So can you explain that you're a multimedia company? So I know you're on television, you still promote the magazine. So explain what that looks like.
Great question. So, after transitioning out of TV news, so I spent many years waking up at 3 a.m, doing the morning show. Loved it. I love live TV. TV is just something very special to me, but having the kids and, having the babies at the time, I had to get out of TV news. But I've still stayed very much involved in the TV sphere. So ever since, even before the magazine, I've still stayed very involved in TV. My kids have grown up going on TV. I constantly do lifestyle segments. We're avid travelers. I believe the kids learn more outside of school than in. So there's more to me than the platform that I have now, but I'm always about instilling and empowering families to take the trip. And I showcase all that stuff on television. I'm also very passionate about teaching kids and youth public speaking, which we can dive into as well. So I have a lot of kind of olive branches, you can say per se. But once I took over the magazine, I thought, you know what is a good way to, if you're not getting our magazine in your mailbox, how can we still share the stories that we're telling? When was the last time you saw Mike Tyson on the cover? Or who really knows the person behind the brand of Alice and Olivia? Or there's a lot of other great content inside these magazines that if you're not sitting there reading it, you don't know exists. So, I have a really great partnership with the CW7 here in Phoenix. We go on every month. I always bring a partner with me to liven it up. In fact, a few months ago, I went on with one of our hotel partners, Mountain Shadows. I brought in one of our guys that we work with, Sean Murphy Bunting with the Arizona Cardinals, and he did a whole segment with us with the restaurant at the hotel. He was sabering on live TV. So I love that involvement of the community and bringing that on television and telling the stories that we're telling within the publication.
I've thought about a magazine for myself. I mean, my blog, Tinseltown Mom, it'll be 10 years. And I thought, I wonder how that would be me transitioning this to a magazine. Like, what are the major differences, would you say? Because I know you used to blog as well,
You
right?
mean digital versus print?
Yeah, a digital, yes. Like a digital blog versus a digital magazine, let's say.
So a digital magazine. So we are a print publication. I believe that magazines are the last tangible thing you can hold and feel and have that reader experience. Let's be real. How often do you wake up, sit on your couch, hone in on the morning news? You have the TV on the background, you're listening with one ear, you're looking with one eye. With print, it's an experience. Mm-hmm. And it's an experience that is not going away. Print has never gone away, the way TV has never gone away. So print is the one thing that you're still going to see on coffee tables, in doctors' offices, etc. Digital is just as important, but I believe there's a very strong marriage between the two. I do, as well as I do, because you said, your blog is coming up on 10 years. The blog sphere has very much evolved. It's become highly saturated. And a lot of us are strictly blogging via Instagram. Like, to me, you can just as easily have your Instagram handle as your blog as your blog, because really you're saying the same exact stuff. So I think, if you're ever thinking of evolving your blog to being something either print or an issue that you'd flip through from a digital perspective, I always believe in doing the most you can from a multimedia aspect. But at the same time, if you're not going to fully commit to it, don't do it halfway. So like, if you're so determined to have this print magazine, also you have to think about where you're going to send it. But to you, from a digital aspect, if you're going to invest your time, your money, your energy into creating something from a digital sphere, how will it reward you at the end when you already have an existing blog that has been around for 10 years, that people know, that people trust, that people read, that people like? So I think for someone like you have a podcast, you have a blog, like, do you need a magazine? I don't know, and I think that's where we get as people in the media, we want it all. We want to be able to do this, that, and the other thing. And what I've learned is sometimes I've rushed too fast, and I have to slow down, and I have to be strategic, and I have to have a plan, and I have to think of what is the end goal and how will it benefit me and what I'm doing. And that's more from a one-on-one perspective. The platform isn't me, it's not mine, it's reflective of the community. But for your blog that's yours, what would be your goal in creating it and formulating it into a magazine? I don't know the answer to that.
And that question also is for a lot of moms listening who are bloggers and maybe thinking about if a magazine is good for them. So what I'm hearing you say also is, like, for a blog, and this is from my own perspective, for a blog, I mean, you're on your own schedule. You can post when you want. You have that autonomy over your blog, what you want to say, et cetera. A magazine, for example, people are expecting it a certain way. I mean, you have to have a very specific niche, which you do also for a blog. But you have to know who your audience is, who you're serving, and just keep it afloat. You definitely need those partnerships.
100%. And I can tell you that our demographic is is very beautiful communities in the state of Arizona. I know that we're targeting 35 to 65. I know that 2 out of 3 readers purchase from our publication. I know that 82% keep it on their coffee table every month. So you have to kind of have these statistics. But I will piggyback what you said, which is kind of interesting for the moms that are listening that are bloggers and who love to write. And actually, some of them have reached out to me because we've been in this sphere for a while. If you want to see your work in print, pitch the publishers. I'm always looking for content. I feel like the caliber of content for me has changed more from the mom blog to this lifestyle luxury print publication. So it's a different style that you and I aren't as used to as we were 10 years ago. But I think as we grow up and we evolve with what we've been doing actively for so many years, I think our talents can still be utilized and printed and displayed in beautiful publications. In fact, I've had many of my friends and colleagues in the past reach out and say, "Hey, if you're ever looking for a writer, please let me know." If you are a mom blogger at home and you're like, "Gosh, I would love to get published," reach out to magazines and say,
Yeah.
"Hey, are you looking for writers?" Look, we're all trying to do the same thing. We're all trying to balance work and life, ourselves, our marriages, our hobbies, our schlepping our kids around. Like, it's a constant juggle, a constant balance. But at the end of the day, like me, like my kids are in elementary school from 8 to 3. We need to be stimulated as women. And I think it's so important to prioritize that stimulation, especially funneling through creative avenues.
Yeah, no, that's so great. You said that. I'm always encouraging moms to pursue their God-led passions, and
Always,
writing is a
always,
passion that a
always.
lot of moms
Yeah.
have. So if you're listening, reach out to Nadine if you feel like
Reach
you can
out.
be of value.
Absolutely. And you reached out to me, and I never want to say no to, especially to a mom who's just trying to have a sense of self. I'm not saying I can say yes to everybody, but I do
Right.
believe that there's value in supporting one another. And I always have.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. So just going back to when you acquired this magazine. So what did that look like as far as your employees? Did you have to start from scratch? Like, what
Great
does
question.
that look like?
Great question. Well, I have formed a very small team, very small, very intimate, because I think I'm sure you can relate. Like, I always say, like, I'm a type A. I might not be the easiest person to work with. And that's just true. It's perfectionist qualities. And whether or not the way I do it is perfect, it's still who I am. And sometimes you really have to figure out, it's a hard personality when you're working with someone who's been in the media. And I fully acknowledge that. But I've been able to have a small, very intimate team that I can trust and rely on. But really, it's at the end of the day, I take full responsibility for interaction with our partners. It's very important to me that when I go to a meeting and when they sign the dotted line, they're not passed on to anybody, that they're communicating with me, that they can text me, that they can ask me questions. They become my friends. And I feel like a sense of responsibility because they're now part of our platform. I need to take care of them and I want to take care of them. So I think you just need to build what works for you. Some people like a huge team behind them. I've realized the things that I've needed kind of help with, and I'm able to do that. I'm also so blessed to be part of this community because I've been a part of it for so long.
Mhm.
So I have people in media that I call for advice, that I've relied on, that can help, that can pitch in, that can write, that can offer their guidance. So I don't feel alone in this at all. And I really feel like the media based community that I've had here has been tremendously supportive. And I'm very grateful for that.
So how many people work on your team?
We have a few, and I'm always bringing in more freelance writers. So I have an administrative assistant. I have someone who helps me with editing. But as far as writers, no one's like hired to be a writer. It's more like contributors, or if they want to write for me. For example, I worked in TV for many years in San Diego, and one of my friends there, she reached out and she's like, "Nadine, I want to start writing again." And I said, "Cool." And I've assigned her 2 stories. So it's really more organic and month by month, case by case. I still love doing some of the writing. I don't do it all, but I still love doing some of the writing. Storytelling is a part of me. Writing is something I've always loved. It's part of something that I enjoy doing naturally. And the biggest challenge for me has been learning the business side because I know the editorial side and I have help with that. It's more learning the business side and running a business. And that to me, after the first 3 months or so, I'm like, wow, this is really empowering and this is awesome. And what we're able to create here with the people that we're bringing in, the partnerships, the storytelling, it's so wonderful. I feel very blessed to be part of the City Lifestyle Publication Group. They're based out of Kansas City. They do such a good job at kind of spearheading who we are and what we do. So you have to understand there's stuff that I don't do and don't have to do. I don't do our website. I don't do the SEO. I don't do the layouts. So there's a lot of weight lifted off my shoulders because we have such a strong team out of Kansas City that does things so beautifully. And they've been doing it for a very long time. In fact, you said your slogan is encouraging moms to pursue their God-given talents. That's theirs as well. And they really want publishers nationwide to feel empowered by taking over this print publication, setting their own schedule, and building it to something that's very reflective of their community.
So, how do you find your wonderful guests for your cover?
Great question. Yeah, that's fun. That's a fun one. And, the covers have been so fun for me. And, I always obviously want to find a nice Arizona connection because that's who we are. We are locally based, but I do like it to be edgy and fun. For example, having Alice and Olivia being on the cover, Stacy, the woman, the dynamic woman behind it, she has a storefront in Scottsdale. So there is a very nice parallel to that. Mike Tyson used to have a house in Paradise Valley. Michael and Nicole Phelps, they live in our community. Dierks Bentley I'm just listing off covers. Dierks Bentley he performed at the Phoenix Open, and his mom still lives kind of down the street from me. It's been nice being able to get creative. I always think from a local standpoint. So I love anything that involves our local sports teams, the Suns, the Diamondbacks, the Cardinals. They've been just phenomenal. We did a great style spread of all the Diamondbacks off the field in our style issue. So I have tremendous support there. Really, and it's just reaching out to them. And I kind of say my vision and we kind of bounce things off with one another. So our sports teams have been huge. The community itself has been really great. Arizona, the Valley is a very popping industry where we live. A lot of people are moving here from all over the country. It's beautiful. 3 months out of the year are painful, but the remaining 9 months are just, you could be outside, you can live outside. So Arizona's just, it's become home to me. My husband's from here. Our kids were born here. I immersed myself in media here. I've lived here over 13, 14 years. So really, it's just been having a vision and then using my reporting skills to track down the right person and to get them on the cover.
I could see you doing that.
And that's just the truth. I
Yeah.
spent many years as a reporter. And this was even before the times of Google and Instagram and all that good stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So just as we wind down the conversation, can you tell us what a typical day for a magazine owner looks like?
Yes. For this magazine owner, all of us are different, but for me, I live off my calendar and I am always scheduling, I value bringing on partners that will take the time to meet with me in person. I want to explore that mutual mesh. So I hope to have at least 1 to 2 in-person meetings per day. Then once someone joins our platform, I get them used to our system. We do a really nice onboarding call. And then I'm in constant communication with them every single day of every single month, strategizing and talking about their ads. Then from a content perspective, we are always looking for stories and storylines. I'm very grateful that people naturally reach out to us anyway. They're like, hey, I got this great story for the November issue, or hey, are you working on your health issue? Or hey, this, that, and the other thing. So I'm always very supportive of big philanthropies. We'll do photo shoots. So we have a photo shoot lined up for next week for our November issue. The photo shoots are also all very, very fun. And then doing the interviews. So I try to do the big interviews over Zoom or just over a call. So that's been really nice. So really it's nonstop from when my kids go to school, but I do pick up every single day, Tirlan. Like the reason why I'm doing this is to have also that ultimate flexibility of being a mom that, I already blocked off Thursday at 11:30 because I'm going to bring my son lunch for his birthday. So I do have that flexibility to say, you know what, this is my time with them. Now, after 3, when I'm a taxi driver to soccer, to baseball, to piano, and running around with my head cut off, I'm still very active on my phone and on my computer. And that's something that my kids have had to get used to. It's a love-hate, right? Like, I don't love to be on the phone in front of them or on the computer in front of them, but I also want them to see that just like their dad, mom works and I'm available to my clients, and they're like, they are obsessed with the magazine. So like they feel like it's theirs as well, which has been really fun. But, I have times where I put the phone down and times where I'm like, hey, you know what? I got to take this call really quick. So I do believe that this business doesn't sleep. I get some of my best ideas in the middle of the night. I sometimes do work at 5 a.m. when my house is still sleeping, or at midnight when I've put everyone to sleep. So it's nonstop, but that's how I thrive. I've always kind of enjoyed that kind of an atmosphere, that every day is different and fulfilling in its own special way.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nadine, for being here. Now, where can people find the magazine and where can they reach out if they are interested in maybe writing a freelance
Absolutely.
article?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for having me. I love what you do and supporting other moms and providing, all of us with such more positivity and empowerment, which I think is just so important with women right now and moms trying to do so many different things. So thank you again for having me. All our articles, all our issues are online at citylifestyle.com/Paradise Valley. You can follow me on Instagram at Mama and My Boys, or you can just look up Nadine Bubeck. You can follow the magazine on Instagram at Paradise Valley City Lifestyle. And you can absolutely reach out to me. It's nadine.bubeck, Bubeck, at citylifestyle.com. I'd love to hear from anyone who's listening, just their thoughts about this podcast.
Hey moms, don't forget to sign up for the workshop on October 26th. You're going to get so much value from this, so please sign up. The link is in the show notes. Thank you so much for listening today. If you enjoyed this episode, I would love to hear from you by way of an encouraging review. As you know, my podcast is meant to be a blessing to mothers, so any support from you would be so appreciated. Until next time.